Hey, CEO, if your day is getting shredded by 5-minute interruptions and that somehow turns into lost hours, this video is for you. I want to talk you through a real client case study. Let's call my client Dylan. He was stressed about cash. He was stressed about sales. He was buried in team questions and frustrated because even though he had good people and some systems, he still couldn't get to the one thing that would actually fix his runaway problem. And that was selling. And if that sounds a little bit too familiar, stay with me, because this is exactly what it looks like when you've half stepped into your CEO role. And when your team is still running everything through you, like you're some kind of foreman or something like that. When Dylan and I got on this call, I asked my usual questions. We always want a position for our clients, what they're winning at. And his answer was a little surprising. He says, honestly, not much. I'm super stressed. I need more sales. I don't have a lot of runway right now, and I'm not able to get to my work that is sales. He knew what he should be doing. And he was looking at the pipeline. He was forecasting. He knew that he needed to close more deals. He had the deals in front of him that were looking to be closed. But here's what was happening in reality. His team was peppering him with questions all day long. Nothing huge on its own, but all those quick little questions meant at the end of the day, he was saying, I didn't get to the proposal. I didn't make the calls that I should have made, and I barely touched sales. So I want you to understand that's not a time management problem. That's a systems and authority problem. On paper, Dylan's company looked organized. He has processes for invoicing, detailed handover packages, material lists, scopes, customer info, change sheets. So I asked him a simple question. Who owns the system? Not who touches it. Who actually owns it? If more than one person owns a process, no one is truly accountable for it. In Dylan's world, this was owned by his people, Todd and Melissa. They each had tasks, but when something slipped, it floated up to him. So every time the form wasn't done, an invoice wasn't sent correctly, it landed back in the client's lap. They had no clear rules on deadlines and consequences. If we don't have the subcontractor's insurance 10 days before they're to work on the project, what happens? There was no rules, so his team just kept chasing and then escalating it to him. No explicit authority to make firm calls. Dylan was the one phoning this up saying, hey, if I don't have your paperwork by the end of the day, I'm pulling the contract. His team couldn't have done that. They just didn't know that they were allowed to. And Dylan was in a position where he had to keep giving the final okay. So every time they came to him with, here's what I was thinking of doing, he would say, yeah, that's good. Do it. Great for reassurance. Terrible for building independent leaders. So that's when we brought it full circle back to one of the leadership tools that I teach all the time. Instead of answering, ask them what the options are. They've come to you with a problem. Instead of answering, ask them what the options are. And then before you say, oh, option A, B, or C, ask them what they recommend. Empower them. And then give them the authority to go execute it. Do not hand out the gold star of approval. You let them decide, and they own it. So here's what we had Dylan commit to. And this is where you can steal the playbook. Step number 1, we had him clarify ownership. He's sitting down with his 3 key people, and he's saying clearly to them, within your job descriptions, this is what you own. 1 owner per system. Others can support, but 1 person is accountable. Define the rules. So for each critical system, they're answering, what's the deadline? What happens if the deadline is missed? The rules you create from asking these questions, they don't come from Dylan. They come from the people that are now owning the system. And you, as the CEO, you have to hand over the authority explicitly. So Dylan's job is now to say, you have the authority. You hold the line. You make the decision, and you enforce the consequences, as long as you're acting in the best interest of the company and the customer. And he's adding, if you do what you believe is right for the company, I'm not going to be mad. We might tweak it for next time, but I'll have your back. And that's how you begin to build real leaders. And now Dylan's goal is between now and the 2nd week of January, so that's about 4 weeks. His goal is to free up 10 hours a week by tightening these systems. Those 10 hours, they're going straight back into sales and high-level leadership. They're not going back into firefighting. Now, here's why I wanted to share this with you. Dylan didn't have a broken business. He had good people. He had decent systems. He had a clear revenue goal. But he was stuck in permission giver mode. And every time he said, okay, do that, he taught his team, you still need me to move. So what's our CEO reflection here? I want you to ask yourself, over the last week, how many times did your team come to you for permission when they already knew what to do? And how often did you give them the answer instead of asking them, what do you think is the best move here? Which systems are constantly nibbling at your time that somebody else could own if you were brave enough to let go? As a reminder, you don't scale by doing more. You scale by building people and systems that no longer need you. If this hits a little close to home, you're just in that messy middle of shifting from overwhelmed operator to strategic CEO. And this is exactly the work I do with my clients. We clean up the systems, we clarify the ownership, and we build teams that can actually run the play without you. And if you want more tools to help you step into that role, you can start by grabbing my free tools and resources. They're all designed to help you take your business from held together by you to build to scale. If you're ready for deeper support, you know where to find me. You're not here to be the walking brain of your business. You're here to architect it. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.